Yo. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Culture. This is your boy Jeff, being accompanied by my man Anthony and resident guest Mikey-She, because we have a very special guest today. This man is a platinum selling hip hop artist. Back in the 90s when platinum albums was a thing, when platinum, meant something. If you weren't around in the 90s, you would know this man from the Scoop There It Is Geico commercials. This man is the brain supreme of Tag Team. Party on, party people, let me hear some noise. DC in the house, jump, rejoice. dcglenn. Thank you for joining us today, man.
What is good on this Friday evening? Let's roll.
What's going on?
I'm talking about, y'all got me hyped.
Oh.
Party on, party people, let me hear some noise. You know
DC
that one line,
in the
everybody
house,
thought we were from DC.
Rejoice.
The whole city of Washington, D.C. thought we was from D.C., and that's why I was big in D.C. off the rip.
Oh, shit,
I was going to say,
crazy.
that's what I thought forever until I really understood. And I was like, oh, man, it's like question mark asylum. And it's like these guys coming, like D.C. is popping.
And may I add that Mr. Glenn is the first and only rapper in hip-hop history to use the word derriere in a rap song. Matter of fact, you might be the only American to ever use that word, period.
Hey, man, we don't cuss. I had to find a word, man. I said booty too much.
Derriere, shake the derriere.
But, for me, man, that was about lyricism. That's how, it's amazing how I started rapping, because this is how I started rapping, man. Tag team was 3 people. It was me, Steve, and Otis P. Otis P went to the Army. So we would all do lyrics, but then I just really took up the mantle of just really wanting to rap a lot. And I was at Sac State University. I was in college. And I was like trying to write lyrics, and it was just kind of a struggle for me. And then I was at the library, and I seen this rhyming dictionary, and I stole that damn thing, right? And I stayed in class, and I used that book for 3 years till I was stupid enough to go back to the library with it. And the sticker set it off, and I lost that book, man. And that book was the genesis of my lyricism, because whenever I needed a word to rhyme with something, or I just came up with different ways to write lyrics. Whether if I just take one chunk of words that rhyme together and just made all the rhyme out of that, or just to be able to use different words and associate and, start using them as synonyms and start using the English language like that. And that's how I learned how to write lyrics, man. And I've never looked back. I'm a better writer now than I've ever been, because I have different tactics. But, when you said that just took me back memories, man, because I love writing lyrics.
That's dope, man. I wasn't even aware that you guys were like non-curse word rappers, like clean, should I say?
No, we cussed, but I mean, it wasn't abrasive, right? It wasn't abrasive. I mean, here's the thing. Whoomp There It Is a song about us chasing Adams on Friday night. And everybody thinks it's the most wholesome, clean record there is.
Yeah, white people people playing this at all types of parties.
Black people too, man. But hey, man, the third verse, point blank, gin and juice I drank. Getting bent and bent as I puff on dank. Rock the mic. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I crave skin. Rip shit, find a honey dip to dip it in. Slam dunk it, stick it, flip it and ride. That B-O-O-T-Y, oh my. Ooh, that's it. Come on. Whoomp, there it is. I'm done.
Oof.
That is the blueprint for a porn scene.
And it still sounded clean for some reason. It still sounded clean,
right?
Though.
It does exactly. and it is graphic, and it is it is all of that. But there's no cussing, and it's not abrasive. It's actually, you can really feel it. You can be like, that. If I had to go try to get me some, that's how I would want it to go. Right. And that's what I have so many lyrics that are like that, where I'm talking about the nastiest stuff, but it's just no cussing.
Well, DC, I'm from Colorado as well. And yeah, man, I grew up in Colorado Springs, and when like my 6th grade dance, we had 6th or 7th grade, something like that. But I tried to sneak. I was like Colorado hip hop head, and I was like, I'm gonna get Naughty by Nature on. Nope, it got turned off. I tried to put on like Tribe, got taken off. I put on Whoomp There It Is, and everybody was like, yeah. All the teachers were like, this is great, and instantly all those 6th graders were humping. I mean, everybody was grinding, and our like nerdy teacher, Mr. Bailey, came onto the floor like, no, everybody 12 inches away, 12 inches. But that song, It was okay
booty
with
shake,
everybody.
man. Booty shake. That's that, because we were from Denver, and my influence were, we come from the beginning of hip hop, right? Like just 82, 81, 82, Planet Rock, Pac-Man, all the, the Al Nafish, all that stuff, you know what I mean? And that's what we grew up on. And it's just amazing how it all came together. But it was just us in the culture, you know what I'm saying? Because back then it was just New York and LA. So for us to be in Denver, and then I went to school in SAC, and then that's when I got introduced to all kind of music, because I would order my records from, Frisco, LA, New York, 12-inch dance records in DC, right? I ordered my records from all over the country. So I basically was the internet back then, because I could get any record because I knew how to get them. And then most of those records were white labels, right? Like certain records, like Girls of the World Ain't Nothing But Trouble, DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. That was a street record. And everybody got mad at them because they thought they were cornball rappers. And I was like, that was the hottest record in New York as a white label. Because back then, that's when everybody was using samples from TV shows and stuff like that. So it was dope that they used I Dream of Jeannie, right? It was accepted, right? But 2 years later, once all that went by the wayside and they put it back out again, it was like, what the heck is this? That shows you how fast it changes.
I keep trying to
I
keep trying to remind people that Will and Fred and what you call it were the first rap Grammys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they even go back further than that. They came up with Shan. They came up with Boogie Down Productions. They came up with all the, Shantae and all them. That was all that era, right? And I had every record, and that's what influenced me. And when I moved to Atlanta, we still were making hip hop records, but I realized that we're in the land of booty shake. We ain't gonna never get out of here if we don't make some booty shake. And, I went to Steve, I was like, yo, we got to make some up-tempo stuff, dog. And he was like, man, I love this bass music, man, but I don't know how to, I don't know how to make it. And I was like, hey, man, it's hip-hop. It really is the essence of hip-hop, because to me, the essence of hip-hop starts with Planet Rock, because that's when the B-boy era started, right? That's when all the dancing started. That's when the break dancing started. Planet Rock, man. I said, think Planet Rock and Egyptian Lover, because that was on the West Side, West Coast. Egyptian Lover, Dr. Dre, Jamie Jupiter, Dream Team, all those cats. They were doing up-tempo. Same thing, right? All inspired by Planet Rock, Kraftwerk, all those groups like that. So we had a very good education in the beginning of hip-hop, of just the records that made hip-hop what it was. And we just went back to the essence. And Steve put that, and I had Whoomp There It Is I was working on. I had rhyme books full of rhymes trying to match it. But we never really did an up-tempo record, and Whoomp There It Is fit. And we recorded it. And I was working at a club called Magic City at the time. And I was the head DJ. There we go. I know you want to talk about it, but
Anthony going crazy.
I was working at Magic City, and we went to the studio. It was 92 August. Came and I dropped the cassette in when I got set up. And to this day, that's the biggest response on any record I have ever had. And I've been DJing for 30 years. I was
going to ask you, who came up with the concept? Did you actually write that?
Yeah, I wrote all of it. Yeah. But it wasn't like a Manhattan Project and nuclear fission and whiteboards and all that crap. It was a song about us trying to get some ass on a Friday night. That's it. Because that's all we was trying to do. Is we was 22, 23, 20. You know what I mean? That's all you want to do. And I worked at the #1 strip club in the world, where I'm surrounded by 150 most beautiful women with big booties, and they all love me. What?
Yeah.
So none of that womb stuff. Like everybody. So how did the stardom do? I was like, dude, I was already a star, because I realized early my hustle is gonna make every girl love me, because it's just like, teach them how to fish for real, and you teach them how to fish, they love you. And you end up being a brother, they father, they pimp, they cousin, whatever you need to be to them, you are. And all those women that I've, in the past 30 years are all good friends of mine to this day, because we were all on the same side. We was getting this money, right? And the beauty of it is that I got to play my own records in the club, right? And not only was I at Magic City, which was the strip club, but the owner had another regular club called Club Michael's. So I know everybody. Deion Sanders, I know, Dominique, everybody came, LA Babyface, and Bobby Brown. Everybody that moved down there are all my friends. I know everybody. and I'm set, but I didn't know it. I'm just having fun. I'm a young dude having fun. And once I played Whoomp There It Is, my hubris took over because I'm thinking every record I make is a hit record, right? And I stopped playing it for a while. But then I started playing it again. And that time, one of my reps was in the house, Alan Cole from Columbia Records. And he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "That's my new record." He was like, "Man, give me that. I'm about to send that to New York." Gave him a cassette. He sent it to New York. I get a call from Columbia Records. Then I said, this could work for all the majors. I sent it to all the majors through the reps. Because a record rep is, you had New York, you had LA, but then they'd had regions. Southeast regions was in Atlanta. So they had reps that would give, service all the record pools, the DJs, and the radio stations. And I knew all of them well. And they all put in a word for me. Now I got all the majors fighting over Whoomp, but they didn't know what to do with it. So nobody pulled the trigger. And I almost gave up. And I talked to this lady named Lisa McCall. She worked at Mercury. She's like, "You need to talk to Al Bell." And for those who don't know Al Bell, at the beginning of soul music, there were 3 record companies. There was Philly International, Motown, and Stax Records. Al Bell owned Stax Records. The year before Whoomp, he had put out a record called Daisy Dukes, right? And yeah, right, Daisy Dukes, and by Deuce, and it went gold. And I was like, word, that's somebody that know how to work this record. And I called him. And took him about a week and a half to call me back. And he called me. He was like, "What's up, brother?" I was like, "Who's this?" Like, "Mr. Bell." I was like, "Hey, man, let me tell you something, dude. Everybody been playing with my emotions. And I'm telling you, I got a hit record. I'm in the hottest club. I've been testing it. You need to sign us now." And he was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "Oh, you ain't even heard the record." And the man said to me, "Brother, I ain't got to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit. Let's agree to agree." And I gave my 2 weeks of Magic City, signed a messed up record deal, and in a month and a half, we was platinum.
I always try to explain to people, man, like it's over the history in Atlanta. If you could brick your album or your song in the strip club, you got a hit. Like, it's unquestionable. Like, if you make them go off like that, like I said, that was the importance of it. Like I said, the thing about that sound and that music at that time is that you guys, like, understand, like, in the overall sense, like I said, the song is based like, we out here looking for chicks on a Friday night, but it's fun. And the thing that I think about when it comes to hip hop, like, that part's missing. Like, how many songs do you actually hear on the radio where you just driving, like, yo, I'm just, gonna bop your head to it, you get a little sway to it. Everything is gone. What do you think, like, what happened to the fun in hip hop?
I don't even care, man. That's their type of fun. I still have my fun, right? That's, hey, man, I'm sure we probably wouldn't. I have arguments like this all the time. People, I get on podcast because I do about 4 or 5 of these a day, man, just because I love to run my mouth. And I get into this discussion a lot. And they're like, "Man, don't you wish we could go back to the 90s and just be where hip hop was?" And I'm like, no, I don't, right? Because it was hard then and it's hard now. And it evolves. And just because it evolves doesn't mean it evolves in the way that you want it to go. "Yeah, but they need to pay homage to the old schoolers. They don't respect the old schoolers." I'm like, dude, they don't even know how. They wouldn't know how to get in touch with us if they tried. They wouldn't know. They don't know. How can you expect somebody to do something that they don't even know how to do, right? Or should they? Because I know when I was making music, I wasn't trying to run back and pay homage to James Brown and Chubby Checker and Isaac Hayes.
But you wasn't dissing those guys either. You wasn't dissing them either, though.
I wasn't dissing them either, but I wasn't trying to make music like them. I wasn't like, I need to go pay homage to them dudes because they came before me. I just enjoyed their music.
Right, but
and that's what these young cats do. But but these are the cats that get old and bitter. Their careers didn't go the way you might have wanted to. But I'm like, that's your fault, dude. You the one that accepted that you couldn't do nothing no more. Right? Hey, I've been hustling since day one. Everybody talked to me about, "Man, so how does it feel to be back on top and be back in the limelight? And how does it feel with the resurrection and the resurgence?" And I was like, whoa. This ain't that story. I ain't never give a damn about the limelight. I worked at Magic City at the beginning.
Facts.
I'm good. I never wanted to be a star. I've been a star, right? You don't understand. I've been a street star forever. That's better. And I carry myself a different way. This ain't that story. This is a story of hard work, perseverance, hustle, tenacity, never quitting, never giving up, learning how to learn, and keep on keeping on and playing offense.
That's deep.
And you acquire things that make you masterful at all the things that you're doing throughout your life. And then all those things that you're masterful at serve you. And then you keep coming up, you stay successful, and you end up shocking yourself because you do things you couldn't even think of yet, right? I'm in a position right now that everybody's like, so what does the future hold for you? I have no damn idea because it keep hitting me in the head every single day. Something new come up like, yo, you want this money, DC? You want this bag, DC? You want this, DC? We got this opportunity, DC. And it's not because people giving it to me, it's because I'm busting my ass and I'm hustling. And I'm figuring out how to stealthily get in front of the people that I need to get in front of to give me what I want, right? And it's always been like that, right? You know, we talked about the Mandalorian earlier. That came from my agent sit me down for acting and said, okay, so what do you want, DC? And I was like, man, you guys do a good job for me. I love my auditions. I'm doing a good job. This is great. No, DC, but what type of roles do you want? I was like, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's like, DC, what's your bucket list? I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, so you're
so
ready to do voiceover work for the Mandalorian or what?
That's what I'm saying. It's like I said, you know what? I want to be in the Mandalorian. I want to be in anything in the Star Wars universe because at that time, they had dropped all them new 15 shows. I'm like, how the hell are they going to do all them damn shows and tie them all in? But I want to be a part of it. So I need to start casting for that. That's what I want. Jon Favreau, Dave Leone, you need to come holler at me. For real. You missing one. Come get me. And I be yelling at it every interview I do. Good Morning America, whatever.
Everybody's going to hear it.
Jon Favreau, Dave Leone, y'all need to come holler at me for real. Because I don't expect anything, but I'm going to throw it out there. Right? And a month ago, I signed with one of the biggest voiceover agents in the world. And now I'm doing those type of auditions. There's like 4 or 5 things I want to talk to y'all about. I can't because I'm on a non-disclosure agreement.
That's dope. Yeah.
Because I kept hustling. I didn't give up. And I didn't listen to nobody, you know. And I turned, you know, people's negativity toward me into positive fuel. That fuels me. Keeps me hustling. Keeps me smart. Keeps me learning how to learn. Keeps me doing the things that I need to do to become masterful at all this. Right. So
I mean, dude, your IMDb credits were
bananas,
ridiculous.
Right?
Like I was like, holy shit. Look where he's been.
But this
is not a comeback. He's been in it.
But the thing is,
call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
You know, it's a little misleading because all those were, you know, licensed deals that, you know, they played me, but still,
who cares?
Who cares? Yeah, when people see my credits, they're like, whoa. And then you see acting credits on there. Right? You see things that, wait a minute, he's an actor too? What? You see the Geico thing on, like the sheer magnitude of the things that are on that list.
Tell us how that Geico gig came about. Like, does the record label call you? Do the Geico call you directly?
No, I'm gonna tell you, it goes back to 2011, right? I'm at Strokers. I'm at Strokers now, right? I get a call at the front of the club. They're like, DC, there's this woman on the line on the phone. She won't get off the phone. I was like, man, which one of these heifers oh man, who's calling me at work? Right? And I was like, look, whoever said, you got to call me in the morning. Call me at this number. And she was like, please, just call me because the record about to go off. And it was a reporter from the New York Times. And she was like, DC, have you read the Gawker article? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, the whole world thinks Barack Obama was in your music video, because they took a frame of LA snow and it looks just like Barack Obama, a young Barack Obama. And everybody
does.
Yeah, it does. And everybody was tripping on that, like, what? And they, back then they were trying to use anything against him. So they were we was getting calls. We did press for a whole week. We just sat in the studio while every major network was just asking us questions about it, right? And at the end of that week,
did you just lie and say yes? You're like, yeah, that was Barry.
We played it. You know what I mean? But we were at the top of the game of press, right? And at the end of that week, I had nothing to show for it, and it pissed me off, right? Because I missed out on money because I didn't have a web presence, because people couldn't find me. Because I asked her, I was like, how'd you find me? She's like, it was very hard to find. I was like, it shouldn't have been hard for her to find me. Right, this 2011 beginning, all the social media stuff, Instagram, all that. So I was like, that's what started my SEO career. I said, this will never happen again. And back then, you type in tag team, it was all wrestling. You type in tag team today, it's all tag team.
Go.
And it took me 10 years to get good at SEO and to be able to rank for pages on the first page of Google and understand all these algorithms and understand how the game is played And then I put that street pixie dust on it, and then I take it to a whole nother level, right? To where it serves me and I can get the things I need out of it. So now I get a call from my agent during the pandemic, and they're like, hey, DC, congratulations, you booked a Geico commercial. I was like, don't play with my emotion, Smokey. I didn't even audition for a Geico commercial. What you talking about? She's like, DC, they want you. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, they said they want a tag team. They wanted to book tag team for Geico. I was like, oh, shit, tag team. I went and checked the tag team phone because it's connected to, we got a dedicated line. And their message was from Geico. And then what happened is, because I know SEO and I fill out all my breadcrumbs correctly all over the world, they went to my IMDb, seen all those credits, found my agents, called my agents, was like, we messing with them. What's up? And my agents called me and I could have said, hey, thank you, appreciate the call, because I knew they called me. But I was like, this is synergy. Let your agent make the deal, because your agent is your agent for acting. This is perfect. You ain't got to worry about nothing because they already get you bread. And my agents made that deal, and it is the most lucrative deal I've ever made in my life.
Wow.
And
it's a ridiculously good commercial too. I mean,
my 3-year-old son loves it. Sprinkles.
Well, everybody does, dude. It's like,
but there's a reason. There's a reason why that commercial is like it is, because at the beginning of it, everybody was like, DC, man, I know you happy you got this Geico commercial coming. I was like, not really. I was happy for 2 days, but then I knew I had work to do, because I know what a Geico commercial is. And when Salt and Pepper did theirs, 2014, they ain't stopped touring till the pandemic. But we in a pandemic. I ain't gonna be able to do no shows. So how am we gonna get this bread? So I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna quit. I'm not gonna be happy I got a Geico commercial and try to be like, yo, I'm it. No. I'm going to take these lemons. I'm going to make me some good ass lemonade. I'm going to start me a lemonade company. I'm going to franchise a lemonade company. And I'm going to sell it for $20 million. That's my mindset. And I start preparing. And I said, I'm an actor. Prepare for this. I could have just walked in and be like, what we doing? But you can tell the people who are fish out of water when they do it and they didn't prepare. You just know what type of commercials those are. I prepared. So I said, okay, what we doing? It was like, we're going to do soup. There it is. I'm like, cool. But I was like, man, soup. Man, I'm gonna make it fly, whatever it is. So I'm scrolling, trying to find, the Seinfeld episode of the Soup Nazi, so I can get, so I can hook it up. And then they call me. I was like, no, we're gonna do ice cream. We're gonna do scoop. There it is. And I was like, oh yes, word. And it took me back to my childhood, because my father used to put them eggs and that sugar and that vanilla and milk in a bowl, and we'd be like, get it ready, and we go get the little cylinder, and we'd have the cylinder with he put the stuff inside, and then we'd have the ice with the ice rocks around it. Then I cranked 5 minutes, my brother cranked 5 minutes, and then 20 minutes, 2 kids is eating ice cream out the cylinder, homemade ice cream. And I wanted that commercial to be the essence of my childhood, to where kids would look at that and say, Mama, I want a party like that.
Word.
And it ended up being where big kids, little kids, old kids, black kids, white kids, red kids, then everybody turned into a kid on this commercial. But what I did is I started preparing. I said, I want to have 6 or 7 things that I have in my pocket. So because the director always says, so what you guys got? And I'm like, this is what I got. And we had our production meeting, and I was like, look, I got some ideas, like, DC, whatever you want to do, we doing. And I was like, word. I said, I wanted to fabricate a spin and scoop, but I couldn't find nobody to do it. So with that, we don't have to do that. He's like, no, it'll be done tomorrow. I was like, word? Cool. I was like, well, I know kids love sprinkles. I don't know why they love sprinkles. I just know kids love sprinkles. So we got to have a ton of sprinkles. I'm going to do the Salt Bae. I'm going to do the LeBron James sprinkles. I'm going to do sprinkle food fight. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I said, we do this little dance down south called the Yeek ATL. So the whole Southeast going to know I'm representing for the Southeast. And then, we're going to make this like a tag team concert. You know what I mean? We're going to dress like we dress. We had a discussion. I had a discussion where I was going to cut my beard or not. And somebody was like, you need to put some black in. I was like, nah, dude, don't nobody do that. I said, everybody that do that, they do that. That defeats the purpose. And I said, you know what? I said, look, you can never go wrong with the Frankie Beverly, right? And Frankie Beverly, that's what I did. I cut it short, kept it gray, kept it clean, and was like, let's roll. We got to where we wanted to wear. We did everything we wanted to do. We shot it. We had energy the whole day. It was the bomb. We finished it. And then it was like, Cool. Let's wait. See what happens. They gave me that commercial, man, and I tried to find fault with that commercial. I could not find. Only thing I could find is that me pointing at the ice cream was a little off on the last point. The only thing that I could find, right? And then I really knew I had work to do. So I was like, I'm about to get a publicist. Cool. And we had meetings with publicists, and they was like, well, we don't kind of know what to do with it. It's a commercial. We've never done a commercial before, and we're in a pandemic, and everybody's working from home. Like, hey, you good? Thank you. I appreciate the meeting. But I'm like, whenever I get stuck, see, I have tactics, man. It's called learn how to learn hustle tactics. Whenever somebody tell me I can't do something, whenever I get stuck, wherever things get hard, I join an organization, because a society or an association, because organizations are filled with people who have been working a certain profession that they love for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. They work to make their profession better, right? So I joined the Public Relations Society of America, PRSA, right? And I said, I'm gonna be my own damn publicist. Since y'all can't do nothing for me, let's roll. And 2 days in, I'm on a Zoom call with the CEO of this publisher company, right? This publicist company, PR company. And I raised my hand. I was like, are press releases relevant? Because I know what they are, because I do them. But I need that validation because it feels good sometimes, right? And, and then just trying to network, right? And they were like, well, what's it for? And I was like, well, I'm kind of featured in a Geico commercial called Scoop There It Is. And I'm looking at the chat and they're like, wait a minute. That ain't him. That is
You're on
him.
the phone looking,
oh my
Googling
God,
you.
I love that. I love that commercial. My kids love that commercial. Everybody. And I blew up the entire chat, blew up the whole Zoom call. And the moderator's eyes were getting big. And it was like, okay, we'd like to welcome DC to the Georgia chapter of the PRSA. We're going to talk about that Geico commercial afterward. But right now, we're going to get back to this question. Are press releases relevant? And the CEOs, I'll never forget, the CEO said, like, yes, especially now. Because every story the whole last year was COVID. The whole last year has been political. And you can only watch so much Netflix. Everybody is Netflixed out. You can only watch so much movie. Hollywood hasn't been able to shoot, so there's no new stuff coming out. And then here you guys come, throwing sprinkles everywhere, spinning scoops, dancing. DC, your smile. Oh my God, your smile, DC, because she knew. And she was like, of course you want to drop that press release and it's going to do well. And not only if you drop that press release, it's going to do well, you need to go here to get in front of all the publicists. You need to go here to get in front of all the TV talk shows. You need to go here, get in front of all the podcasts. You need to go here to get in front of all, everybody else. And then you need to make sure your pictures are like this. Whoop, 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 whoop. She gave me an entire breadth of her hustle and her existence and her professionalism in her field in 10 minutes. And I have not looked back. And it has opened my life up to things that I never thought possible. And it is the reason that you and I are talking right now.
Well,
because
DC,
I didn't give up.
I'm a culinary consultant, and you want to start an ice cream company? I'll do it tomorrow with you. Let's do it. Scoop.
There it is.
But see, that's one of the things. That's one of the things I can't talk about. Right?
You got to let me in on that.
That's about to be bananas, right? But that's what I do. Pocket. Yeah, man, that's what I do. And because of the PR, I do these so much, and now I'm figuring out things for myself. Like I really appreciate y'all having me on, because every time I talk, I figure out 3-4 new hustles, right? Or you hash things out. You collaborate with people. You talking. You're doing different things. You're feeling each other. You're seeing where you go. You understand things. You're meeting new people. You're doing all these different things that we should all be doing as society together to come up together.
And that's gonna.
Right.
And that's going to bring my next question, because I probably already know the answer. I was going to ask you, do you own your masters and royalties? Because I was under the impression that Geico, for example, had to call the record label to get permission to use your song. You know what I mean?
No, here's the beauty of it. Because it went the way it went, my agent took care of all that. See, if I had ran up on a record company, it might not have went that way. But my agent came and did it. And they made all that stuff happen, because I had to explain to them the whole 20-year lawsuit and all the legal battles and everything. And that was like a 2-hour conversation. And once I told them what the game was, they went and they did their magic. And the record company's happy, Geico's happy, and I'm really happy. Right? And it was, because we were, our legal battle stopped in 2017 and we prevailed, but it was at a cost. And, I never really cried over the spilled milk, because the record company went bankrupt. Another record company bought it out of bankruptcy, and then they took something they wasn't supposed to take, and then now these two record companies are fighting. We're in the middle. And I was like, I'm going to let them bloody themselves up, and I'm just going to be a paralegal and just make sure I get all the discovery because I know I'm going to get my day in court. And I looked at the glass half full as opposed to half empty. Back then, that's all I could do. But fast forward 20 years, because that due diligence and because of that hustle and making sure I was organized when we had to fight, found a lawyer, beautiful lady, and gave her this big box, saved me half the money on my legal fees because I did all the research. I had all the paperwork. I put everything in organized. They came up with 5 or 6 ways for us to prevail. And we prevailed, right? It was at a cost because I got depressed after that because it was like, what you going to do now? Right? It's over, and because that has stopped our career in like 1997, 98. Because I wasn't about to put out another record and then you got 2 record companies talk, well, you owe us money. Well, you can't do this. I wasn't about to do that. And they got long money and I got long money, I thought, till I had short money. Right. So I had to go back to work. But that was cool because I'm a DJ. I'm a DJ first. And I'm still DJing in the biggest clubs in the city. I'm still DC, the brain supreme, because I never stopped being who I am. I carry myself different. I'm not a star. I'm DC, right? And I educated myself. I started running my life like a corporation. I became a licensed commodities broker. I started trading Forex. I learned about finance. I tried to start a hedge fund. That's another hustle, learn how to hustle tactic. I didn't know nothing about a hedge fund, so I started calling hedge fund managers saying, hey, I'm DC the Brain Supreme Tag Team. You need to holler at me because I got Deion Sanders and Dominique Wilkins and all these Falcons and all these stars down here, and I can manage their money. What? They're like, heck yeah, come on up to New York. We got a meeting for you. I did meetings in New York, LA, Las Vegas, and San Francisco. I'm in the boardroom in Vegas. Still don't know what a hedge fund really does, but I'm acting like I do. I'm like, hey, why should I let y'all manage my hedge fund? Like, oh, DC, because we do this, our returns are this and this and that and this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. And what they didn't realize is that while they're pitching me, they were teaching me. Learn how to learn, right? I did that 4 rounds and I understood what a hedge fund was. And I never did it because I knew that I couldn't get away with it because that's a monumental task. And I wasn't prepared to do that. And you can't be messing with folks' money like that if you don't know exactly what you're doing. But there are collateral sprinkles when stuff like that happens because 2000, I didn't know anything they were talking about on CNBC, but 2002, I knew everything they were talking about on CNBC. Then I started running my life like a corporation. I said, I'm going to run my life like a corporation. Got my credit right, got corporate credit. Then I knew how to start investing the right way, and you do it slowly over time. And then I said, well, let me put a business plan together for my boss at this club I'm working at and then be invaluable because I'm not just a DJ. I'm your light man. I'm your sound man. I do your flyers. I do your voiceover. I do your radio spots. I do your television commercials. I do your fashion photography for the girls. I get you in all the magazines. I do all these things. And now I'm invaluable to you. So pay me.
You're the Swiss Army knife.
And now, yeah, I'm a Swiss Army knife to anybody that I deal with. I'm a Swiss Army knife. And that's why I tell people who are pissed off about their jobs and stuff, I was like, you need to do everything you can to learn every aspect of that job that you hate because you ain't doing it for them. You're doing it for you so you can have a better transition into something better for yourself. And it has worked for me like clockwork. And then not only does it work for me like clockwork in that sense, but now I'm like, well, I've done the radio spots. Let me get serious about voiceover. Let me get serious about video editing. Let me get serious about fashion photography and retouching and all the things that I know how to do that I've gained mastery over because I was doing it while I was at the job, right? Now all these things, everybody's like, you ain't making no money doing it. You ain't doing this. It's like, yeah. You a jack all trades master. And I'm like, yep. But if you hustle hard enough, hustle long enough, learn how to learn and play offense, some of those trades, you become masterful. And they serve you.
And once again, it's like one of the questions I was going to ask you. And again, you're answering the questions that I'm going to ask you because, I was going to ask you, how do you have to reinvent yourself after, the success well dries up? And you're basically answering and just dip your toes in everything. You know what I mean?
No, but there's a method. Yeah. You don't give up. Here's the main thing. You don't give up. Whatever you start, don't give up. It might take a long. I started voiceover 2009, right? And I was going to New York, LA, coming back to Atlanta work, go to New York, LA, go to LA, New York. And it was hard. And I was like, something wrong with these coaches because I ain't learning. Because back then I thought I could just whoop there it is my way through anything because of who I am, right? But I was wrong. You ask, how do you reinvent yourself? Well, sometimes in life, you get thrown opportunities. And people often ask me, so how was your pandemic? And I was like, pandemic's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And on the other side, I lost people and it was bad for me too. But it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me because it forced everybody to stop at the same exact time. And now we are all in the Serengeti together.
We started this podcast because of the pandemic.
Yeah, to think about it. What you going to be, predator or prey?
You know what I mean?
Right? What you going to do? I was like, what you going to do? You can't do shows. You can't do this. You can't do that. But I can do this.
Yep.
Because I never quit. And everything I do, I record. Every class, every acting class, all of them I record. And I went back to my first voiceover class, 2009, and it was gut-wrenchingly heartbreaking because I had to listen to my 10-year-old self talk in a conversation and realize that I was the one getting in my own damn way. And at the same time, it was inspiring because now because I'm an actor and I'm a voice artist, I know exactly what these coaches were trying to teach me and realize I had the best coaches in the game. All I had to do was go over everything. I'm like, I'm reinventing myself. And I could do this first voiceover script that I did that's making my skin crawl over. And when I did it, it was angelic because the first time in my life I had mastery over my voice. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now this week on NBC, they can't touch me, dog.
They hire you to do some work for us, man.
You see what I'm saying? They can't touch me. You know what I'm saying? They like I've been training. I've been putting in work. Right. And I went through 42-hour sessions. I organized everything. And for the month of March 2020, when we all thought we were going to turn into zombies and start eating each other, I reinvented myself. And I got good at I got good at voiceover because and start booking instantly because back then everything is we're all in this together. COVID. Right. Every commercial was that. Then I get a call in April from my acting coach in LA. Hey, DC. I got a movie for you. I'm casting. Can you get to Nebraska? I'm like, yep, I got a hazmat suit. Let's roll. And I go to Nebraska. I shoot my first movie. Then 2 months later, I shoot my second movie. Then I get a fall campaign voiceover for Publix. Then a grocery store. Then I book a Tyler Perry House of Pain episode. And then here come Geico. And I've done 4 things since then. I'm telling you, 2020 is the best year of my life. And it's because I didn't quit. Kept playing offense, and I didn't worry about it. See, most people, instant gratification, we all know what it is. It don't work. You don't plant a seed in the dirt and sit down and look at it and like, okay, seed, I need you to grow. I need this seed to grow. Why ain't you growing, seed? Man, the seed don't work. I quit.
But that being said, can an artist ride the wave of like a hit song forever? Like one hit song, can an artist milk that like for the entirety of their life?
I don't know, man. I know I've tried to. I have, because we always do shows.
Right.
We do 5-6 shows a year, but they're NBA halftime shows, so they're lucrative. Right. Or we get on, this movie or we get on that movie, but it depends on the song. But see, here's the thing, right? All the young cats, even old cats, be like, DC, put me in the game, I was like, first of all, I don't even do that no more. What you talking about? Man, but I know somebody that can put me on. And I'm like, you know what? I can help you. I said, give me your email. I'm going to send you a file. It's got a book in it. If you don't know, if you don't like to read or don't know how to read, then I got a video in there for you. Once you look at that, hit me up and then we'll talk about it. I'm about to give you the whole game because I know you ain't going to do it. It's too much. And I can tell you 98% of people do not call me back.
They don't want to put in the work. They want handouts.
And all I ask them to do is just to go through one thing. But the people that do, like I got one cat, his name is Cordell. He's an Army veteran in Afghanistan, suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, but he can rap his ass off because he's talking true street rap that he's lived in them foxholes, right? And he was like, I got you, dog. And he did it. He was like, man, I read it. I tried to understand it, but it's a little confusing to me. I was like, I got you, dude, because I know you tried, right? That's all I need to know is that you tried. So I put him on game and I told him what it was about. And he was like, okay, but I still trying to figure out how this plays in. Like, don't I need to go to the clubs? And I was like, no. I said, this is what this does. You understanding this is that I have given you the back end first. I have given this to you. I have given you the knowledge of what to do when your record fades, when all the girls stop messing with you, when the record labels don't think you could do it anymore. I've given you the back end because I've made it possible for you never to get taken advantage of in this music industry because I've just taught you about music publishing. This is the most important part of your rights. So you know everything about it now that you should never get taken advantage of. And I gave him the next piece of game. He's like, well, how do I get shows? I said, well, I'm going to tell you how I did it. Because, you know, I want to start, you know, I retired from DJ in 2015. I was like, I want to do shows again. I want to do like a bunch of shows. Everybody's like, I'm like trying to get on everybody's roster. Like, yeah, you only got one song. What have you done for me lately? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And what happens when somebody throw a roadblock at me? I joined an organization. I joined the International Entertainment Buyers Association of America. When it comes to concerts, you have your tiers. You have your hierarchy. You have the top, which is your buyers. These are the people who say, I want to do a concert series. Let's get this going. Then you have your venues. Where we're going to have it at. We're going to have it at a stadium. We're going to have it at an amphitheater. We're going to have it at a theater. Then you got your big boy promoters, which is Live Nation, iHeartRadio. They're the ones that sponsor these concerts. Then you have your mom and pops promoters, which are the ones that tell me that they can't do nothing for me because I only got one song. Then you have your managers. Then you have me. I effectively cut out the middle because I went to their convention, 5,000 strong, me and Chubby Checker, the only black dudes in this convention. I'm with all the buyers of the entire entertainment industry, from tribute bands to casinos to rodeos to ice capades to everything. And I got a big old Whoomp There It Is t-shirt on. I got my business cards and I got my pitch together and I start hustling. Hey, how you doing? I'm DC from Tagteam. You might have heard the song Whoomp There It Is. Yeah, I've heard of that song. It's like, what you guys doing these days? Well, I got a clean 90s nostalgic rap show. And we're just looking for, we're looking for gigs. And the fact that I said clean first, I watched their ears perk up. And the one thing that everybody thought that was my weakness turned into my strength. Because they were like, we could put them in the middle of the show and pay them what they want. And we're going to bring energy to the show. Or we can have them just do an appearance here. Or we can just have them do a corporate event. Or we can have them do a fundraiser. Or we can have them do this. Or we can have them do that because we just want the song. And I flipped it on their ass. And now all those same promoters that were telling me I only got one song, now they beating down my door trying to put us on. And then we went from 5 shows a year to doing 15. And then we got on tour with a promoter that wanted to have us on tour. He gave us 10 more days. Now we got 25 shows. And now I can do as many shows as I want a year if I want. Because I'm in an organization where I know all the buyers. I go to all their network things. I meet all these people that will probably never give me anything, but I don't do it for that. There is no quid pro quo. I just throw it out there. Play offense. If LeBron shoots 20 shots, is he going to quit? No, he's going to shoot 20 more. If he don't make them, he's going to shoot another 40. But then he's going to make one. Then he's going to make 2. Then he's going to make 50, and then he's going to win 5 championships, and we're going to just be looking like, damn. Right? Because you don't quit. You give up. There's going to be bumps in the road, but you can never quit. And that's what I did. So it's like I teach people the things that I wish somebody had told me when I was a young brother. Right? I wish my father and my mother raised me perfectly, but they couldn't have told me what the snakes in the music industry do to young kids. You got to go through that. Everybody's been through it. It's how you come out the other end. Some people are blessed enough to where they got people that can get them out of it. Everybody's situation is different, right? But everybody goes through it. There's people that have never been paid.
But I asked because
we got paid.
There's people that, had a one-hit wonder and we've never heard again, like the Baja Man. They've been riding that Who Let the Dogs Out wave, or the Macarena guys. We ain't never heard from them again, you know what I mean? So you would assume that they're still riding that wave.
No. But you don't know what their deal was, right? They might have effectively been stopped in their tracks because of their deal. And now they can't do nothing else. They couldn't make no more music. So they're relegated to do shows here and there. But I know everybody who's out on the road because I'm out on the road with them. And we do the I Love the 90s tour. We do everything. There's a certain amount of groups that get to do stuff. And we really get to do stuff now. Like once it opened back up, we booked solid for the rest of the summer.
Woo.
Just on the weekends, right? And we were about to do a tour, but I'm not about to do the tour for that little bit of money because I don't even really want to do a tour because I'm doing everything else. I'm doing SEO. I'm doing voiceover. I'm doing movies. I'm doing television. I'm training. I'm preparing. Everybody's like, DC, you can't do everything. I'm like, okay, I can't do everything.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
But I sure enough can be prepared for everything.
Right.
And they're like, you're right, brother. Hey, man, more power to you. And I'm like, this fool. People be telling me that I can't do everything. And then I tell them I'm prepared for everything. And I just done told them the same thing in a different wording, which means the same exact thing. And now they approve of it.
Correct.
Right? Like people see the thing that I have learned how to do over the years is sequester my ego and my pride, because that's what brings you down. That's what makes you old and bitter. That's what gets in your way. And I could take any negative emotion, pain, fear, envy, sadness, despair, suffering, fear. Sounded like Yoda, ain't I? And I could take all that, not react to it viscerally, but put it in my pocket and use it for fuel. Right? And that's what I do. And that's what keeps me going. And you don't deal with it right then and there, but you hold it in until you have a reason to use it. And because I'm an actor, I got reasons to use all these experiences. Because I'm a voice artist, I have reasons to use all these experiences. And when I get pissed off, and when I'm happy, and when I can go right to it, and now I don't have to be a character or a caricature. The character becomes me, and it's real. And you just keep your ego. You know, I love being wrong. Right? You know how you have arguments with you know, like you see people arguing, right? And they're arguing about the dumbest stuff, and they just keep throwing stuff in because they want to win an argument. And they just keep going further and further down the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah, me.
And I don't be arguing with folks. I just let them go, right? Because what happens is you know, that person is arguing themselves into a false hole, into an untruth hole. And now you're stuck in that hole. And you believe all that stuff that you tried to throw out there just to win the argument, and now you are truly lost. And I'm like, going down that hole because I was wrong, because I know being wrong is the path to being right. And being wrong and admitting that you're wrong kills your ego and your pride, and it hurts. And it by no means is easy. But over time, you don't be in your emotions and you see things clearly. And what used to stop you from doing something has no power over you anymore, right? And that is how everybody's like, how do you do this? And how do you think? And how do you feel? I was like, because these are the things that I've done. I was just with my voiceover coach, and he was like, we didn't even do no voiceover today because I had to tell him all the stuff I did this week. And he's like, man, he said, the way you say things is so different because you ain't reciting nothing from a book. You actually lived all this. That's the stuff people want to know about. Y'all didn't think this was going to go this way when we got on this podcast, did you? This is a whole nother thing.
Nah, bro. Honestly, I was expecting anything. I'm open to any experience.
Yeah.
Any kind of knowledge you're going to drop. Like, all right, I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? This is what I've been through, right? And like I said, I've been, you know, I owe it to my parents why I'm a hustler, because I say this all the time. I've been stemming collard greens and shucking peas since I was 5 years old. My mother had a prep cook, right? And my father, he had him a little a do boy, because I had to wash the cars, cut the hedges, roll the lawn. I do all that stuff. And they had a reward consequence thing with us. You know, they gave us money, but it was like, well, if you don't clean up, if you don't cut the grass, you can't go play with your friends. That hurts. If you don't go to church on Sunday, you can't play football on Sunday, because we used to love to play football on Sunday after the Bronco game. Right? Because Bronco starts at 2, it ends at 5. We got 2 hours to play before it gets dark, right?
Come on, donkeys. Go Orange Crush, baby.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? And that was our highlight of the week, right? We would play because we had the front yard for it. And you don't get to play football. So, you learn after a while that you don't need to do. Don't buck the system, just do the work. Yeah. And then we had a big blizzard. And you can relate to this. I think I was like 8, 9 years old. We had a big blizzard, and we were the only family on the block to have a snowblower. And we did ours in about 20 minutes, me and my brother. And then Mr. Grant was struggling next door. We went and did his snow. And then we did everybody in the block, right? We just did it because, you know, we're kids playing in snow. Sure. And that whole next week, we're coming home from school, and like, hey, boy, come here. Like, yes? Like, it's $30 for you. Appreciate you doing my walkway.
Yeah. Wait, so you did it for free, and then they gave you like a tip afterwards?
That was when a true hustler was born.
Yes.
because after that I had a paper route. After that, I worked in the ice cream shop. After that, I worked at the AV department at the university, and I started working in restaurants. I came with my first learn how to learn tactic in my teenage years, because everybody used to drive around trying to find a job and couldn't find one. I was like, "You're doing it wrong." I said, "Go give me them yellow pages." I said, "Where you want to work?" "I want to work in a restaurant." I'm like, "Cool. Hey, how you doing? Are you hiring today?" "No." "All right, thank you." "Hey, can I come fill out an application today?" We're not hiring." "Okay, thank you." "Hey, are you guys hiring by any chance?" "Yes." "Man, this girl just quit. If you can get here today, I got a job for you." "Cool." There you go, bro.
I love a yellow pages hustle. That's the best.
Let's learn how to learn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can cover 100 times more ground. I could have made 100 calls that day and had 20 jobs. Anything I wanted to do back then. That's why I always had a job.
You know what's interesting, like especially like in Colorado, I live on the West Coast now, and like it's interesting because there's like the East Coast, my family's from the East Coast, and like there's a hustle mentality out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like in Colorado, it always felt like a lot of people weren't there, and so if you were a hustler, you could get after it. Like you were already like 10 steps ahead of people.
It was the best kept secret.
People were like too nice or something, but so you could just like step up and be like, "Well, I'm gonna like either undercut the other guy that's mowing the lawn or shoveling the snow," or it was just like as long as you were out there and you were like confident, like, "Yeah, I can do this best." Like I feel like you could just mop up because there was just like
you got to look at it was back in Colorado, everything was nature. Everything wasn't condensed.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So there was more stuff for everybody to do. You
out.
didn't have to really compete with nobody to cut no lawns because there was enough lawn for everybody to cut.
Yeah.
You could come up, right? You know what I'm saying? But in New York, you're only going to have 5 people that got a lawn.
7 people who have that, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
and the people who have lawns there have like in-house. They got the in-house grass cutter. Where were you in Denver?
I was in Park Hill.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Sure. Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah, I went to Manual, right?
Oh, you did? All right, cool.
Yeah, we stayed by Stapleton Airport when it was the airport.
Yeah, right.
Like all that. And I had the greatest childhood ever, right? I really did. I went to Blessed Sacrament, went to Catholic school, but I stayed in Park Hill with my friends, and I had the best of all worlds. And but I learned how to hustle at an early age because my parents were from the South. And they were like, "You always going to be able to take care of yourself." And now I do not fear work because I know there's no way under it. There's no way over it. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
The only way to it is through it. That's why I take on anything. I want it to be hard because I know ain't nobody going to try to do it because it's hard, because it's challenging. And I know that if I just grind on it long enough, just like with this acting, everybody be in their emotions because they're like, I've done 20 auditions and I haven't booked anything. I was like, man, I'm trying to do 20 auditions a day because I know it's going to take 1,000 auditions. So let me get this over with quick.
Yeah. That being said, it's like hearing, like, especially acting, my friends that are actors that like, they're like, they'll go out for a part and it'll be like, "Nope, you're too ugly." Or like, it's like, you can see
it's
where
random.
You have to have
you can look like somebody's, you can look like somebody's ex-husband. You could be too short. You could be too dark.
You got to be confident, though.
Bald. You could be. It could be everything. It has nothing.
Hey,
to do with nothing.
You and I, the bald men with beards, we're repping.
But that's
B&B.
I'm the only one with hair right here in this group.
That's why I wear this. That's why I wear this beard, because there ain't nobody in my lane. There's very few people in my lane, and all the people that are in my lane that got this beard been doing this for 30 years. So I got work to do. Catch up.
Yeah.
But I've caught up quick because I've only been acting for 2.5 years. 3 years I've been acting. And I've already booked about 5 TV commercials, I've done a lot of stuff, right, on camera. Yeah. And, I keep booking. I do 4 or 5 auditions a week, sometimes 4 or 5 auditions a day, because I figured out different ways. The pandemic changed everything, because for me, I said, I'm not going to leave this earth regretting I didn't do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I trained for everything. Because what happened is half the educators in this country went back to school to teach. And half of them was like, I'm not about to be around them nasty ass kids. And what they did is they went and they changed their paradigm, and they went and got on all the tutoring sites.
Yep.
There's a site called Wyzant.com, WYZANT. I jumped on that. I got better at everything that I wanted to get better at, just like in 2 or 3 sessions. Because now you're being taught by a Juilliard actress, or you'll be taught by a college professor, or you're being taught by a Harvard music theory specialist, right? You're being taught by the people who actually do it and been doing it. And then that same person that was teaching in a class, teaching a whole class for $60 a day, is now teaching one kid for $60 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
take it. And I just took advantage of it. And I said, and that's what I've been doing. And like now, I'm back into music production because I said, I don't want to leave this earth without being able to make music again.
Type.
And I'm not trying to be an artist, but I still love making music. So I had like I used Studio One. I learned how to use Machine. And then I said, I'm going to do even better. I went to the engineer who built the software. He's in Germany, Greg.
Source.
Really? I said, hey, man, I see some of your videos out there. How much you charge for an hour? I don't care how much it costs. What you doing? What's the ticket? He was like, you know what? I'm busy, but I like you, man. I'm going to take you. And now me and Gregor Burrell, one of the engineers of Studio One 5, one of the biggest DAWs out there, is training me one-on-one. And not only is he training me one-on-one, but he's training me one-on-one in a custom way that's custom to my workflow. So now that I can learn this DAW by doing all these auditions every day and cutting them up, learning about, compression and equalization, learning how to make beats, learning how to use arpeggiators, learning how to make movie trailers, all because it's my workflow now. And I'm learning this DAW from the best there is. And it's only been 3 or 4 years, and now I'm making songs again. And now I'm not trying to be an artist, because that don't make no sense. But I can, if I'm auditioning for a Christmas movie in July, I can make a Christmas song and submit that with my audition and say, yo, this is what we can do. And now I'm in a movie and got a Christmas track in it. And then people hear that Christmas track, be like, man, I like that track. What is that? It's like, that's DC from Tag Team. Damn, that nigga's still making money. Right?
Keep on rolling.
Yeah. As opposed to,
actor, producer.
Hey, y'all, I'm putting out a new record. This is my chance to do it again. I'm putting out a new record. Will you like me? Man, DC need to sit his old ass down.
But yo,
you see the trend. You see the difference.
You're going for that EGOT.
I'm going because this side, I gotta have everybody's approval. I gotta just be stupid about it. But this side, I get 300 G's up front, and I don't have to do no work, and I can forget about it. Because now, if it's a halfway decent record or halfway decent movie, that's a pension plan because it's a Christmas song, which will be played every year Christmas time. And if they don't want it, I can license it next year because I own the rights to all of it.
That's that Mariah Carey shit. That's that strategy. That's
exactly.
that Mariah strategy.
No doubt.
Yeah. She's straight just off of that record in that one movie, right? Because every year it is the #1 Christmas song out there.
Oh my God.
It is going to be in
forever.
4 or 5 Christmas movies at one time. Every year.
For real.
That is a pension plan.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do nothing else for the rest of your life. You probably get stock from that. That's one thing. That's one regret. Like I have very few regrets, but one of the regrets I have is like hustling for stock back in the 90s, right? Because Alanis Morissette, she did a commercial and a song, and they were like, we can't pay you money, but we can give you stock. They gave her stock, and when that company dropped, she was worth $250, and you even heard from Alanis Morissette $250 million, and you haven't heard from her again.
Right. She lives up in my neck of the woods. I actually see her out on the beach every once in a while, and she's doing just fine.
Exactly, because she got that lick. She got the lick of all licks.
It's like Tom Hanks with Forrest Gump. He didn't get paid. He was like, just give me residuals. Oh man, he made so much more than he would have made getting up front. Yeah,
that's how we've done this Geico commercial, because the Geico commercial coming back.
And you got paid in Dogecoin.
And again, and again, and again. Like this Geico commercial, like now we're campaigning for Clios and all that. And I don't care about campaigning, but winning, I just want the press release juice.
Yo. Here we go again. They represent a culture. You can represent like this. The Culture Podcast.
You know, a month ago we were the grand on marshals for the Talladega 500 NASCAR. Whole nother world, but I dropped a press release for that because I knew it was big, and all the press releases are Trojan horse for me.
They about to pull out the Whoomp There It Is car.
Right, and then Twitter blew up, and it's like, they need to do this every week because it was so hype. And we just did a video, right? But I put that production on that video. It was crispy clean, and they loved it. And now we're in a whole nother lane. Literally, right?
I was gonna say.
and
they give you a stock car from that.
Yeah, I was in the car. They wanted to give me a drive. It was like we're gonna put you in the car. You can drive around. It's like I don't need
shit out of you.
I don't need. I'm cool on that, right? But I knew what it was, right? I knew that I had a chance to be rah-rah about tag team, and then get my stuff out there too, and talk about that I want to be in the Mandalorian. Talk about that I want to do this and want to do that, because you never know how it's gonna go. And I'm not expecting anything from it. I just throw it out there. But what it's done is, not only when I do a press release, I get 300 entities that pick it up and drop it, but that's 300 do follow links back to my website, which makes my website a nuclear power engine for anything I want to do in the future.
You're gonna make this go viral. Somebody's gonna holler at you from Disney for real.
And that's the shit that's pissing me off.
Baby Yoda.
No, because like, he has the beard, he has the skin tone. Like, he saw Garrara right there. Like, drop him in there, dog.
Bro,
what you wasting time on Forrest Whitaker for? You already did that. Get your new Saw Gerrera. He already got the beard. He ain't got to do nothing else. Give him a little.
Yeah, but he good to go. Did you see the Saw Gerrera in the Bad Batch?
Yeah. Like,
but you know what? Hey man, the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars was kind of lame at the beginning, but I watched every episode, right?
It started picking up.
And then it just got, it was about the story after that, right? And that was like, even Rebels was like that. The story was, now that all these stories lead somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Dave does. Dave.
Yeah, man. And then just the last season of The Mandalorian, where it just, just those 3 episodes when, the first one with the Mandalorian girl, she showed, I was like bananas. Everybody was like, yo! But then when Ahsoka Tano came, it was just like, oh my God. But then, damn, Luke, I know everybody cried. You could not help but cry.
Yeah,
because it all came. There is nothing in the history of it that has been better than that moment right there when you seen that X-Wing come. And you was like, oh, wait, what the fuck?
And you knew.
Is that Luke? No, they couldn't have done this.
Yep.
And man, when you seen that green lightsaber and that black glove, you just lost your shit. You was like, what the? And it hurt you so bad that it was so good, that it was just beautiful, man.
Word up.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you trust them dudes with anything, and you know that they gonna come with the fire, whatever it is, right? And just these first, 5? This is episode 5 today.
Mm-hmm.
Just the first 5, you just can feel that it's growing into something that's gonna be dope.
Yeah, because the Bad Batch is fire.
Bad Batch is fire as hell, right? The Bad Batch, that there were certain clones that, live their lives out fully, Rex and all the other ones, and them is going to be the same, so they can run this for a minute, and they could just tie in all the little things that you might have seen for a second in a Star Wars movie, and then just hash out a whole new thing that leads it back into something else, that leads into something else.
See, y'all, don't get it messed up, man. Black people watch Star Wars. We rock with it. Y'all think it's just a George Lucas thing. No. This is us. Man. We on it, son. We love it.
I watched Star Wars in the movie theater when I was a kid, dude. And I'll never forget it, what it did to me. And then what really blew me was the second one, Return of the Jedi. No, what was the second one?
No, the second one, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. In the snow? Come on, man. And we from Denver? We from Colorado? And you got it in the snow? Dude, come on, man.
But
that was the greatest thing ever.
This is gonna sound weird though, right? But for Star Wars, for some people, like your song, that's their thing. Like, it inspired so many people. Yeah. Even if they don't shout you out the way they're supposed to, like, you hear it in that sound. You hear it the way they try to get, the DJ and the MC just going like that and just get the party rocking. Like, y'all influenced so many people. And I'm not gonna get the whole respect thing, but like, y'all is just, it's amazing. Like, that period in time with y'all and the 69 Boys and everything going on in the South, just that sound, that bass, that shit was crazy.
And I don't expect nothing from nobody. But but I know I've been blessed with the ability to touch the world because I've done it several times. And I have a responsibility, right? My responsibility is just keep hustling, keep teaching, keep talking to people, and keep spreading this. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been blessed, man. I continue to be blessed. I'm blessed and I'm healthy. I'm blessed. I got a brain that can figure shit out and make moves that serve me. And I'm always all right. You know what I'm saying? I always got money growing here and money growing there. Am I where I want to be? No, because we go through things in life, right? But I am good. right? I am good, and I foresee something so big that it's just, all I'm doing is scrambling to be ready for whatever comes my way. Because if I'm not ready, it's my fault. And that's why I hustle so hard. You got to be ready, man. Preparation is everything. And if you don't have the preparation, man, it's going to come and hit you in the head and you'll be like, what was that? Well, just don't roll down the street because you didn't see it coming. I'm cutting demos for everything. I'm doing promo. I'm doing nature shows. I'm trying to have a cooking show. They pitching me for cooking shows. They pitching me for all kind of stuff. And you just never know which one is going to pop, right? And some things you got to say no to. Like, yeah, I appreciate it, but that's not going to work for me because I'd have to stop all these 15 other things I'm doing that kind of work together. Right. And you just, hey, man, I really want to thank y'all for having me on because I learned more by running my damn mouth, and I have learned a lot tonight.
Too, let's stop fucking around because we just did an episode where we break down our top beefs or diss tracks. Did you guys have any hip hop beef with anybody? Y'all was just a party group. Y'all wasn't fucking with nobody.
No, okay. So of course, everybody thought we had beef because the media played it up with 95 South. But I'm like, my thing was I never entertained it, man, because we was gone. I was busy getting money. I didn't have time for all that other stuff. I was gone day one. What I say? I gave my 2 weeks notice, and we was in a month and a half. We was platinum. Just think about that.
Who needs the beef?
And a half.
That's crazy.
And the things that blew it up, I'm going to tell you what blew it up because I worked in Magic City. I had people in the industry. Ed Lover is one of my best friends. Ed Lover, who's Ed Lover? Well, Ed Lover has the #1 show for rap or only show on rap.
Yep, he had the platform.
Back then, which is your MTV Raps.
Yes,
he hears Whoomp There It Is like, what the hell is that, money? I was like, that's my new record. He was like, what? Man, give me that. I gave him a cassette. Man, I can't do nothing with no damn cassette. I was like, all right, give me a couple weeks. I'll have you some vinyl. And I was already gone from Magic City. He came back. I met him down in Magic City. I gave him vinyl on a Friday. That Monday, he went back to New York, and him and Dre played Whoomp There It Is the entire show.
And that's all the exposure you needed.
I watched that on YouTube, and it was fucking rad, man.
And
I love those guys.
2 weeks later, the Chicago Bulls win their 3rd championship. And because it's Chicago, it's going to be aired on WGN, which is a nationally syndicated station. There's only 2 of them back then. That's why everybody loves the Cubs and the Braves. TBS and WGN.
Yeah.
And they played that parade, and it was 500,000 people in Grant Park, and all the Bulls on the stage chanting "Whoomp There It Is" at the same time, and the world saw it, and we was gone. So I didn't have no time for no beef because I was gone. I was getting paper, right. So it was basically catch us if you can, but we gone. It's always been like that. So people try to act like, I don't know what people try to act like. I just know that when I see people, I'm always cool with them. I'm cool with you, dog. Even though you might harbor some, you just don't burn no bridges, man. It ain't worth it. And you could use all that as fuel. So I've always been able to take negative things and turn it into something positive that served me. That's what it's all about. And you keep your emotions out of it, and you can come up and you can do everything you want to do in life. So
I feel like that's the net of this entire show is like, be ready to learn and be ready. Like it's just, I love it.
Because there's different ways to learn. Learn how to learn. Like, if I get an email that's long, you guys don't got long emails where you're like, man, why you send me this long ass email? But then you're like, okay, you try to read the first 2 lines. Now you daydream and you can't even get into it. And it's like, you don't even read it. You procrastinate, but not me. I throw it in the AI. Now that email is being read to me. And I'm reading the rest of my emails. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's interesting. Now I'm reading along with the AI that's reading to me. Now I'm retaining more information.
Those are bars.
And I'm still doing
bars,
right?
I like that.
Learn how to learn.
Email podcast style.
Or you could take this podcast and you could throw it in the AI and they'll make a transcript, and you can put this transcript in your description. Now, when Google crawls all your YouTube videos, they'll see all these words that match each other, and then they'll start putting it where they want to put it.
Yes, sir.
Boom. It's about optimization. It's about giving the bot what it wants.
Knowledge.
The bot has rules. All you got to do is follow the rules, but people don't want to put in the work. Took me 10 years of SEO, and it's a moving target. And I'm still getting, I'm still learning. But I know that I'm not going to stop because I know how to get in front of everybody. I know what social media is. Social media is not about likes. Social media is about engagement. How many people is like, I fucks with them. Let me holler at them. That's engagement. not the attention. I need attention, so let me show my booty and get some likes. Right?
Are you making fun of my TikTok career?
That's not what it is. Like you could take this one podcast and turn it into 50 pieces of content and optimize it and organize it, and it will serve you in ways you never could imagine. But that takes work, right? It takes skill, it takes understanding, it takes knowing when something is obsolete, knowing when something Google switched it up to where something that was popular is now a penalty, so it can kill your site. So you better be on top of it. I leave y'all with that, my good brothers. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I'm hungry as hell.
We about to go watch the Knicks beat the Hawks. I'm sure you're rooting for the Hawks.
Ooh.
I live in Atlanta, but right now,
you a Nuggets fan?
No, I like basketball overall.
Right. He's like who?
Only team I like is the Broncos. Because I work. Because here's the beauty of it. My biggest hustle was working. This was my biggest hustle. I said, Dad, I got a chance to work in Mile High Stadium. He's like, you ain't doing it. I was like, Dad, come on. I was like 16. He's like, they just gonna take advantage of you. I was like, Dad, just let me try. He's like, all right, I'm trying to tell you. And I worked in Mile High Stadium, a Denver Bronco game, and I came home with $300 worth of quarters. Wow. My father sat there and watched me count up $300. He said, you made all that from that? I was like, yep. And he couldn't even say nothing to me, right? But that's the beauty of things like that. When people tell you, that you're going to have people that, people say, don't hang around negative people. I like keep them close to you as they can, because the people that are most negative to you are the people that love you the most. They just don't know no better. They just trying to look out for you. And there might be a little hate in there, a little envy, but not really. They just trying to look out for you, and that's all they know. But they're the ones from
that quarter game.
But they're the ones that there are consequences for telling somebody that they don't know what they're doing, and then they come up. And the one thing that I've always been able to do over and over again is when somebody tell me I can't do something or somebody do me wrong, I've been blessed enough to be able to just see them again and look them in the eye and don't even gotta say nothing.
Just spitting bars. Before you go, man, we ask everybody this: who's your top 5 dead or alive?
I don't know. I ain't even in music no more. Let me think. Okay,
I heard you say that you only listen to Jeezy when you're working out. Like, that's the only music you listen to. You like don't do music anymore.
Okay, so here's my workout.
That's amazing.
Here's my workout. Jeezy, because I lived it with him. We were all in it together. He has the coldest line, I think, to me, one of the coldest lines ever. Hit the kitchen lights, cockroaches everywhere. Now I hit the kitchen lights. Now there's marble floors everywhere.
Yeah.
What?
Talk to him.
You see what I'm saying? When I first heard that, I was like, and I can listen, and it's amazing how I don't even know how I can listen to all them songs like that. So Jeezy, what else is on there? Rick Ross, a couple of his first cuts, and then Jay-Z, a couple of his first cuts, Michael Jackson, and what else? That's about it. Right? For me, I don't really listen to music. I don't listen to music no more. But I will always and forever be a DJ, and it never leaves you. I could get back into shape in a week. I just got to get the music. But I can get the music because I've always been able to get the music. Right? So I don't have to listen. If anything, I'm listening to gospel. But I'm a better artist now than I've ever been. I'm a better writer now than I've ever been because I know lyricism. I know how to write lyrics. I know I've done things to where I've learned how to, I'm a comedian. So I've taken comedy classes. And comedy classes, the way you structure jokes. Wait a minute, I could use that for rhyming. Now I structure my lyrics like I structure my comedy. Now it's focused, it's laser, it's pinpoint. I'm not just talking about stuff. I can actually tell a story so well and have your ass laughing too over a dope ass beat. Ain't too many people can do that.
Yes, sir.
Now, it's going to take some time to get to that. But then I go back and I'll take scat, how Ella Fitzgerald and everybody used to scat back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I take all that scat and I slow it down half speed. And now you got rhyme style. You could take a measure of that and turn it into a rhyme style and rock it. Because they be, you slow that down to, and that's a rhyme style. If you put the right words to it, and ain't nobody ever done it. And if you do it right, people's looking at you like he was spitting bars. Mm-hmm. What the heck is that? Right. And then you can mix them up. It just might be something that you just throw a little twist in. Right.
Right.
But then, or it could even be a chord. It could be your hook, right? You just never know. But the fact that you got those cadences down and you got them all organized and ready, when you're trying to create, you just go pull one and you know it's going to work because you vetted it. See, I go deep. I am hip hop for real in my heart.
And that
I know what it takes, every aspect.
And that's what we do this for. We do this for the culture.
Yeah, for the beats, from the lyricism, from the culture, from how to get in front of people, from the marketing to the press releases to the PR to every aspect of it. I'm in it. I always will be in it. In my heart and in my mind.
Amen.
Now, I might not put nothing out, but I'm in it, right? So for me, I'm still back in the 90s and the 80s because that is hip hop.
Golden era.
But you know what, the young cats is making money, and I respect it, and I know how they doing it, and I could do it, but it ain't for me to do. But I understand it because I could take what they know and put it with my money. Because I tell these cats, I'm like, you got something. You worry about these young kids, and you got something that they'll never have. You got experience. What are you talking about? Why are you worried about what they doing? You got experience. You can take what they do, put your stuff on it, and then come with something new. But nobody looks at it that way. So
it feels like I'm talking to Obi-Wan for the first time. Like, yeah, you got a change in my life. Like, hold up. Like, yo, play this back. I might have to play this recording tonight. Get the bars.
Glenn,
2 more
we appreciate you for coming by, man.
Hey, look. This is what's sitting in front of me, man. Look, there's always something in front. I got this. I got stuff everywhere, man.
Hey, man.
All this stuff back here. I got stuff up there. I learned it all, man. Just so I can know. You know what I mean? I got everything, man. And I know that. I know that when I put my mind to it, if this is what I wanted to do, I could do it. But I would have to do it in a different way because society is society, culture is culture. And you have to work around some things. You have to be innovative and you have to be different. Because you have to take what's old and you have to make it new again. I was on a Zoom with a whole bunch of old rap cats, and they was talking about we can still be viable today and we can still do it today. And they got some young cats on there like, what y'all think y'all young kids think? They was like, nah. I don't think so.
There you have it, ladies and
There it
gentlemen.
is, Mr. DC Glenn. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and before I go, I'm gonna end it like this.
Yes, sir.
Sprinkles!
Yes.
Who don't love sprinkles? Who don't love sprinkles?
They're
Who
the
don't
best.
love it?
Ultimately, they're better than the ice cream.
Hey, I'm out here, guys, man. I appreciate you. One love.